Good morning, all of you. In today's session, we are going to discuss about 10th standard chemistry and physics, where series number 2 is going to be covered. Unit 6, structure of an atom. Earlier, we completed unit 1 to 5, the detailed explanation available on the channel called World of Competitive Chemistry. And in this session also, series number 1 consists of subatomic particles which are present in an atom, and series 2 consists of what is electromagnetic radiation, what are the important characteristics with respect to that one, and also what is the speed of light. All those topics got covered in series number 2. Now we entered into series number 3. In this session, we are going to cover with the topics related with the important characteristics of electromagnetic radiation, right? So these topics got completed and we entered into this concept where characteristics of electromagnetic radiation. Electromagnetic radiation is nothing but the radiation which is a combination of electrical and magnetic vectors and a spectral series arranged in the increasing wavelength or decreasing energy manner. So this entire electromagnetic radiation is composed of increasing wavelength or decreasing energy manner. So either it can be taken as a decreasing frequency also. Frequency of the radiation. This entire thing is said to be a electromagnetic radiation. It is the free flow of energy in the universal speed. The speed of the light will be 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. That may be either air, water, solid, any of the medium. Even in the vacuum, light travels with the same or constant speed. Right? So through the space and material medium as the function of frequency or wavelength. Rainbow is the simplest example with the correspond with the electromagnetic radiation. Electromagnetic radiation is originated from the source, oscillating and propagating in certain direction with a electrical and magnetic vector which are perpendicular to each other, and the radiation when propagating that is associated with their increasing wavelength manner, otherwise decreasing energy manner, otherwise decreasing frequency manner. These are the important important properties of this electromagnetic radiation. The terms which are associated with electromagnetic radiation are wavelength. Wavelength denoted with lambda. So this wavelength is nothing but when we are taking in a wave light as a wave into the consideration, when two peaks are present, the distance between the two peaks is taken as a wavelength, that is denoted with lambda, right? So when the light is oscillating in certain direction, what happens when you consider the distance between the two peaks, otherwise the distance between the two troughs also considered as a wavelength, that is denoted with lambda. Lambda is defined as the distance between two maxima or two minima of the wave. Two maxima or two upper cases, two minima is two lower cases can be considered. It can be measured in terms of either nanometers, centimeters, millimeters, and also angstroms. These are the units of wavelength, right? So, and the next term is about frequency. Let us discuss about frequency of the light, how it will be defined, and what is the important terms with related with this frequency. Frequency is nothing but number of waves that passing through the particular point in the unit time is said to be a frequency. Let us assume here is the point and how many waves are traveling through that point in the certain instance. When you take in a second, how many light waves are traveling through that point is called a frequency. That is measured in a hertz, megahertz, cycles per second. That is denoted with mu, and always it will be the reciprocal of time intervals. So nu is given by C by lambda, measured in hertz, right? So frequency is also directly proportional with energy. As the energy increases, frequency of the electromagnetic radiation is also increasing, right? And the next parameter with the relevant with the electromagnetic wave or electromagnetic radiation will be energy. This is the most important characteristic. Energy is the measure of power. It is the quantitative property used to perform the work or to heat the substance. If you want to move the substance, you have to apply the energy. If you want to rise the temperature, you have to apply some energy. If you want to do some work on that should be heated, or that should be moved, or that should be performed. All these are the kind of energies only. Energy is the measure of power. E is equal to h nu. nu is nothing but frequency, that is exactly is equal to C by lambda. So E is equal to H nu can be expanded as E is equal to H nu is equal to HC by lambda. E denotes energy, and H is the Planck's constant, whose value is 6.626 into 10 to the power minus 34. Nu is the frequency, which measured in hertz. C is the velocity of light, that is a constant value 3 into 10 to the power 8 meters per second. Lambda is the wavelength of the light. So these are the parameters associated with electromagnetic radiation. Now we are going to correlate all the values, all the variables, whatever we discussed in a single term, a relation between the wavelength and the frequency and the velocity of light in the single formula. What's the formula? Lambda is proportional to 1 by nu. So here that is nothing but lambda and nu. Wavelength and frequency both are reciprocal to each other. As the frequency value increases, wavelength decreases and vice versa, right? So C is equal to H lambda is also another representation. Okay, lambda is nothing but wavelength of the light, which measured in nanometers, angstroms, meters, centimeters, millimeters. All these are the units of this lambda. And nu is nothing but frequency of the light, that may be hertz, megahertz cycles per second. And C is nothing but velocity of the light, 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. Always it will be the constant, universal constant phase, right? So these are the what terms which are interrelated in such a manner. Lambda is proportional to 1 by nu, which can be written as C is equal to nu lambda. And can we apply this equation to sound waves? Yes, being it is a universal equation, can be applied to any kind of circumstances, even can be applied to the sound waves. It is a universal relationship and applies to all the waves. As the frequency increases, the wavelength becomes smaller because both are reciprocal to each other. By implying the same formula, you can apply even to light and sound any kind of properties which are related with the universe. And the next is about each color in the rainbow is characterized by a specified wavelength from red of higher wavelength to violet of shorter wavelength. This is the representation. When the white color light is allowed to pass through the prism, that will be split into these many radiations: red, orange, green, blue, indigo, and violet. And this is about the order of their wavelength, higher wavelength to lower wavelength. All these light rays are arranged, right? So this is about the splitting of a single light into electromagnetic radiation called a WIBGR, called a rainbow. So this is also the spectrum of electromagnetic radiation. Are there any wavelengths of light other than the visible spectrum? So can you find other than visible spectrum? So only light which are visible to our eye is called a visible light. Okay, so that apart from visible light, so many other kind of segments also associated with this electromagnetic radiation. Radiation associated with electrical and magnetic fields in the spectral series arranged in the increasing wavelength order are decreasing the energy order just now we discussed. So in that, one of the part is this visible light. Apart from visible light, another spectrum, another segments also present in this that are clearly represented in this figure number 2 called the electromagnetic spectrum, where cosmic rays are of higher energy and the latter gamma rays are present, gamma rays followed by X-rays and ultraviolet radiation, infrared radiation. In between ultraviolet and IR radiation, you can find the visible light can be fragmented into 7 colors again further. And after this infrared radiation, you can find microwave followed by radars. Radio waves will be there and the broadcast band is also there. So this visible light is inclined in between ultraviolet and infrared radiation, and that ranges from 400 to 700 nanometers range. 400 to 700 nanometer range is available in this visible light region, and this is inclined in between ultraviolet and infrared light radiation. Highest radiation is of cosmic rays and the lowest is of broadcast band will be there. So all these are arranged in terms of their nanometers, and here increasing nanometers are observed from left to right hand side in terms of wavelength. And what happens in another thing we are going to observe, what happens when you are heating the iron rod on the flame. Iron rod subjected to heating, what happens that heat is transported through the metal rod, because all the metals are good conductors of heat as well as electricity. That's the reason why here it able to pass the heat, and that used to transmit. First, when it applied with the heat, that turned into a red color, and the latter it will be changed into orange followed by yellow, and the blue color will be appeared. As the temperature changes, what happens, how the color change is observed can be represented in this temperature range scale, right? So this is about red hot. So initially metal will be turned into red hot followed by orange is possible, and the blue is turned, and still higher temperature employed, that will be turned into a white color. This will be the color transformation in accordance with its heating. So intensity of heat, there is a change in color is possible. Do you observe any other color at the same time when one color is emitted? For example, when you are heating, I'm taking sodium. When sodium is heated, what happens? That is turned into a golden yellow. So while it emitting that golden color, is there any other color, emitted by that kind of substance? Yes, absolutely. But why all those colors are not visible? Because the color which emitted having higher intensity when compared to remaining all. That's the reason why only one color will be predominated when compared to remaining all. Those are not observable. Even though all other colors also emitted, but only one color is clearly visible to our eye, and the remaining are not predictable, not observable. So that's the reason why, along with one color, some other colors also visible when we are heating or when we are rising the temperature. So intensity, for example, if you are heating the rod to a particular temperature, initially that metal, that iron is turned into red color. Along with red color, some other colors also present around that, but they are not visible to us, right? And next is about, we are going to apply law of science, that is Max Planck's law. So Planck's law is a very essential fundamental which used to give the energy is equal to h nu. Max Planck broke the continuous energy tradition. So energy always it will be the continuous manner. So that continuous energy concept was completely broken by this Max Planck. Rather, he suggested that they are passing with a certain packets. Energy is moving in certain packets like h nu, 2h nu, 3h nu. In these packets, light is propagating. So here our energy is propagating. That kind of theory was first given by Max Planck. That is nothing but is equal to h nu. H is called a Planck's constant, 6.6262 into 10 to the power minus 34, and nu is the frequency in hertz, right? So this is another assumption which is provided by Max Planck. So instead of continuous light ray, there is a possibility of certain packets of light. Those are called, in case of light, those are called photons. In case of energy, you can say those are quantums. So this is the assumption which is given by Max Planck in terms of is equal to h nu. So the magnitude of h nu can be either h nu, 2h nu, 3h nu. That depends upon the intensity of radiation we are propagating. And these are the light rays which are having our arrangement in accordance with their wavelength. From lower to higher wavelength is gradually increasing in terms of angstroms we are considering. Here, this is a kind of system called a WebGR, where red color, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet colors are present in this. And there is a continuous observation of their wavelength values in the decreasing order, higher to lower values you can observe in this strategy. And the significance of Planck's proposal is that electromagnetic energy can be gained or lost in the discrete values, not in the continuous manner. Just now we discussed that in a traditional concept, traditional perception, energy always continuous. That perception completely erased by this Max Planck's, where continuous energy totally erupted, and instead he said discrete packets of energy was there, that is given by is equal to h nu. Those are said to be quantums, energy packets which are released in the certain space, certain discrete levels. Those are said to be a quantum, right? So quantum is nothing but a minimum amount of energy that can be gained or lost by an atom. Matter can gain or lose energy in the small specific amounts called as quanta. Instead of a continuous emission or continuous absorption, there will be a certain packets either emitted or gained by that kind of atom. This is given by is equal to h nu. And hence emission or absorption of light spectrum is a collection of a group of wavelength. So just now we considered that a small collection of packets will be there. Those are called quanta. Those quanta are associated with a certain wavelength. Here you can observe that wavelength of different colors are in these bunches. So instead of continuity, there will be a certain bunches will be there. These are called quanta. This kind of theory was given by Max Planck. So here, by this, we completed the series number 3. Hope the session will be helpful for your preparation. Thank you very much for your kind attention towards this session. Thank you one and all.